So you're doing everything you can. And I'll tell you what, like I heard someone else say a long time ago, and I hear it every now and then, you get what you pay for. You're trying to get these godless, sinning nuts, old rusty fuckers, off your trailer. And, you know, first you go ahead and you bring out the normal guy, and that ain't working. So then, you bring out one of these big boys, and that ain't working. And you're thinking, well, I'll just put some of this cheap yellow and blue shit on there, and, you know, within 30 seconds, I'll fucking go back to this again. Well, good job on making what you're trying to remove nice and lubricated, because, you know, it's what WD-40 is a fucking lubricant. You know what it's not? It's not a penetrating catalyst. You get what you pay for. Now, say that don't work on all but one, because you just can't get the last one off. So what do? You think, well, shit, I'm going to bring out the damn torch, I'm going to heat it off. But in case there's a fire, I got a hose. Well, that ain't going to do you no good, because in case you never watched any fucking cartoon, had no education, or you don't ever cook, you don't know that you can't put out an oil or grease fire with fucking water. So you grab yourself some flour. That's the way to go. If that don't work, well, there's another little trick not very many people know about. This shit right here for plants. It's called jute. Twine. Not really twine, it's fibrous material. That shit right there, you go ahead and you wrap that around your nut while it's stuck on your stud, and that will act as a wick, and that will keep your good penetrating catalyst in place, so it just don't run right on down your wheel. Alright, so you go ahead and give that 20-30 minutes, let that soak, rattle on it. Now you're starting to strip out, and you're starting to toast your sockets. So what's the next step? Well, that's the next trick I'm going to show you. This is just some shitty little rubber piece. You can go fucking steal the tube out of your kid's tire if you got any kids. If not, go check the Mexican down the street. They got 20 or 30 fucking kids. I'm sure they got a bicycle. If it's not theirs, they stole it. Take that motherfucker, cut it, put that in your socket, and as that heats up, it's actually going to form a bond with all them impacts, and it's almost going to become one piece. That rubber inside there, that jute getting the lube, you hit it with that impactor, and you'd be surprised what happens. Because some people will just go ahead and pull out the damn grinder and decide to cut it off. But just take your time. You can work through it. And remember, that, although it may lubricate, it's not going to penetrate through rust and get into seams inside of the threads. Something like this or another product, if it costs more than $10, it's probably going to do a hell of a lot fucking better than this WD-40. Then, when you're done with that, then you got to deal with shit like this, because some stuff just ain't been maintained. Well, that's a wheel bearing we got to get to. So, that's just a little advice. Go ahead and do your WD-40 at first for a lubricant. That don't work, then go for your penetrating oil. But the penetrating oil, if you want it to stay where you put it, use some jute or something similar. If all you got is sew-on thread, wrap that fucker around it, soak it with it, walk away for a half an hour. It will do its job. If that don't work and you've already semi-stripped the bolt, take a chunk of this rubber, like I did here, cut it off, put it inside the socket, hammer that motherfucker onto the nut, and go to town. There you go. That's all I got today.